Alright, guys. It's 9 a.m. right now. I got up at 7. Not really. I got up at like 7:15, 7:20 because I was tired and I wanted just to sleep for a little bit more. But I finally got my ass up to watch the Microsoft Gamescom 2014 press conference. I just literally finished it, and wow. Alright. E3, I went to their press conference for E3, and they had a really good press conference for E3. It was all consistently about games and had a lot of good information. But the thing that was kind of lacking from E3 that I felt personally was the announcement of really, really hardcore new exclusives. Like really new exclusives that we wanted to see. Like we didn't see anything new for Halo 5 except the beta, and that's pretty much it. And there was some other announcements. We had Crackdown, which a lot of people were waiting for, as well as some downloadable titles. So E3, I thought they had an overall a really good press conference, but it was all sort of stuff that we knew already. Gamescom, however, I have to say that this was probably had more information, better information. Not really for gaming, but as more for Microsoft as a whole, right? More for the Xbox console in itself than E3 ever did. And I'm just going to go off my list here, and it was a very, very good press conference. They had a lot of cool stuff to show, and I enjoyed it. They have a lot of major announcements, too, which I want to get my thoughts on, right? So they opened it with a beautiful Assassin's Creed Unity trailer. Microsoft is pushing Assassin's Creed Unity. Usually it would be Sony doing it, because Ubisoft and Sony were like this. But Microsoft's pushing Assassin's Creed Unity. The game looks fantastic. We got to see a little bit more of the character and how he personally looks, but it was just basically a beautiful trailer. It had some music playing in the background. They went through different scenes in the game, and the game's absolutely gorgeous. It looks like it's one of the most beautiful next-gen games like I've ever seen in my life. And I think, actually thinking about it, in terms of the first third-party Xbox or third-party, next-gen exclusive, I think Assassin's Creed Unity is the first of them, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. I'm really I'm really excited for the game to explore it in that level of detail. It's in France now, and the new character is interesting. I just hope that the Assassin's Creed series as a whole has struggled with creating characters that really have the personality and the likability of someone like their Ezio, trilogy, where you really felt connected with the guy, where it was a much more personal role, and you really enjoyed the game from that perspective. And then I think Assassin's Creed 3, I wasn't really into Connor, didn't really like him at all. I liked Haytham more than I liked Connor. I didn't like Altair that much. He was kind of, that sort of kind of generic type of hero that I kind of thought, because he didn't really talk much and he didn't really display emotions. He was just sort of in this in the Creed, and he was just stuck in this situation. So I didn't really connect with him that much. I did like Edward, though. I thought Edward was a good character. And, in the beginning, I was like, but you kind of got used to him over time, and you actually, really learned to like the guy. So I'm hoping that Arno, which is the new character's name, is actually someone who isn't just some silent protagonist that has a crossbow on his arm, but who actually has some emotion and some character put into him. Overall, the game looks fantastic. I like the different parkour, redoing the whole platforming segments. I think that looks great, and actually a stealth button. I was watching a developer diary yesterday, and they're like, we're bringing the series, we're actually making a stealth game because that's what the series is known for. And it's so true that Assassin's Creed is really at the heart supposed to be a stealth game, but they've always been blockbuster action movies, more or less. That's kind of like how they played out. They're not really have been real stealth games. And so adding this stealth mechanic with the stealth button and the cover system, I think this is really going to help it out. And Assassin's Creed Unity is looking to be a really good game. And they didn't show anything of Assassin's Creed Rogue, but we already saw the reveal trailer. We already kind of know what that game is going for. And that's another game that I'm personally going to be playing as well. And it's exclusively on the last-gen systems. So, gorgeous trailer for Assassin's Creed Unity. They showed FIFA 15 after, which I don't care for. I don't care about sports, so FIFA 15. They did announce that they do have an Xbox One bundled with FIFA 15, and so any of you sports players can get an Xbox One bundle with that. And then they went on to show their ID at Xbox program, which is basically their indie development program. This is the program that all the indie developers come to them, and that's a program that they have to get the indie developers' games on the Xbox One. And they created it after pretty much a lot of indie developers said that their current policies were a bunch of crap. And I think a lot of people actually are liking ID at Xbox from what I'm trying to remember. I think it's gotten some pretty good feedback. So anyway, they showed a lot of indie games. There's a few that stood out. All right, they actually announced that Goat Simulator is actually coming to the Xbox One, which I was freaking surprised, because that's been a PC exclusive. A lot of people were just into it, and it's coming to Xbox One now. So Goat Simulator. You also have Inside, which is a game that I'm really looking forward to. It's kind of this dark, mysterious game. It's a side-scrolling action adventure, but I'm not really sure about the story or whatever. But that's the type of game that I'm really looking forward to. Plague Incorporated, or Plague Inc., as you'd like to say, that is a mobile game that they're actually bringing to the Xbox One. My sister played it a lot, and she let me play it once, and I played it. And I felt very uncomfortable playing it. I honestly did, because the game itself, the goal is to create this massive virus that wipes out the entire human race, and you're watching as the continents on planet Earth are just, being consumed by this virus. And, when you participate in violent acts, when you do stuff, it's acceptable if it makes sense within the story, and if you actually have a purpose for doing it. With Plague Inc., you really don't. You're just some guy at your couch creating a virus that's wiping out humanity. And I wasn't really into it, but that is a game I did notice that was on mobile platforms. They're bringing it to the Xbox One now, so that's great. Also, this new game that I think it's a new game because I never heard of it. It's called Numa, Breath of Life, which is... They didn't show much of it. All they show is these gorgeous environments, these really gorgeous environments. And so I'm really interested in seeing how the game is going to be. So, Numa, Breath of Life. And you also have Below, which is another interesting game. They showed a little bit of that. And so they had, those indie titles. They had a lot, basically. But those are the ones that I picked that really kind of stood out to me and the ones that I'm probably interested in playing most. So... Lots of good, good job there with showing the Xbox One indie titles. That's kind of where the system is struggling. And to be honest, a lot of indie devs are still, they're still hurt over the policies of Microsoft. And Sony apparently makes it so easy that they just go over there and they make it exclusive, not to mention that PlayStation has the bigger market now. So, but this is a good job. I like to see that they're not giving up on it, that they're actually are trying to, make the indie scene somewhat available on Xbox One, so good job there. Then they went on to show Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, a brand new single-player level, right? They showed the multiplayer reveal yesterday, and they showed a brand new single-player level today, basically where they're on the San Francisco Bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge, and it was a really cool demo, alright? Like I said before, I think the story of this game is going to be absolutely phenomenal. I looked at the multiplayer, yesterday I actually watched the live stream, and there's nothing in there that really makes you say, wow, you have a lot of these cool advancements, but the problem is that it's really what the quote of the Activision CEO said yesterday. He said that we're bringing new innovations to Call of Duty with that same classic feel. The problem is it's that same classic feel that we're all used to. And that's the problem, that they don't change up the feeling of Call of Duty. It's not that, okay, you have mech suits and all this stuff there, that's cool, but it needs to feel different. It needs to feel like a new experience, and that's where Call of Duty is struggling. It's not feeling like a new experience. It can change the way you play, but it can't change the way it can't change the way it feels, And that's what they need to do. They need to change the way it feels and not change instead of changing the way that you play as a player. So I'm hoping, again, a lot of people are going to say, well, you're just going to alienate your core audience. And it's not about alienating your core audience. It's about creating new experiences. And instead of just slapping a number on the box and calling it a sequel, actually making new advancements and creating a new experience, and making something unique and something different and something that has its own identity. And so with Advanced Warfare, like I said, I think the campaign's going to be absolutely stellar, and I'm actually going to, I'm going to see if I can get YouTube to actually pay for the game, because I am interested in, I'm definitely going to play the game, but if I could play it day one and I can get it based off of just my YouTube income, that would be something, I would really like to do. And then you guys would see, definitely day one or day zero gameplay of Advanced Warfare. So they had that. They also announced that Call of Duty Advanced Warfare is getting an exclusive Xbox One bundle with a custom Xbox One. It's kind of hideous, honestly. I don't like all this shit on it, but you do have an Xbox One exclusive or Xbox One bundled, another bundle with the exclusive design of the console. It comes with a 1 terabyte hard drive as well, so you get the Day Zero edition of the game digitally, and you also get a 1 terabyte hard drive, so that's a big upgrade. Currently, PlayStation doesn't even offer a 1 terabyte PlayStation 4, which they may actually announce over at Gamescom when their press conference starts in about 45 minutes. So we'll see. They also announced, the guys from Evolve came on stage, and they also, talked a little bit about the game, and they announced that they're going to have an open beta in January, which I'm looking forward to. I signed up to get the alpha on PC, but I didn't actually get invited, which was okay because the alpha was held during a time where I was not home, so I wouldn't have been able to play it anyway if I got invited. But Evolve is having an open beta in January before the game launches in February 10th. So on February 10th for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. And Microsoft is getting exclusive content for Evolve on the Xbox One. So that will probably be my platform for the game, unless the resolution frames per second are actually higher on PlayStation 4. So we'll see. They also announced a huge major announcement, and it's kind of funny because a lot of people are a little pissed and annoyed. A lot of the Sony fanboys. This is a huge announcement, all right? Rise of the Tomb Raider is going to be an Xbox One exclusive. And when I first heard that, I was like, are you freaking shitting me? Rise of the Tomb Raider, yes, is the sequel to 2013's, Tomb Raider reboot. And it's a highly anticipated game that's coming out at the end of 2014, holiday 2015, not 2014, holiday 2015. And it's an Xbox One exclusive. This is a system seller for a lot of people. And I have to say that I'm not even, like, some people are annoyed that, are like, oh, it's Xbox One exclusive, that freaking sucks, because I own a PlayStation 4 and then I don't get to play the game. Well, what's stopping you? Go buy an Xbox One. You have a year, you basically have a little over a year to save $500 or even $400 and just get an Xbox One for Tomb Raider. And I know a lot of people, their emotions are kind of twisted, maybe with Microsoft in the past or whatever. Maybe they just prefer PlayStation over, Xbox, but this is a big exclusive. And let's not forget, if we go all the way back to the 1990s when Tomb Raider was first made, Tomb Raider was supposed to be a PlayStation exclusive. The developers came to them and they said, we want to make this a PlayStation exclusive. Sony didn't want it. And so Sony turned it down. They turned down an exclusive for the original PlayStation. Tomb Raider eventually launched on the PlayStation console, the PS1, but it wasn't under Sony Computer Entertainment. It was just a third-party exclusive, basically. I think it was only on PlayStation. I don't think it launched it didn't launch on Nintendo, did it? I don't think it did. And then, later on in the second generation, or not the second generation, but the PS2 and the Xbox, it launched and went on multi-platform on the GameCube as well. And but Sony didn't want Tomb Raider, and this is biting them in the ass. And you know what? Good job on Microsoft for going in there and saying, guess what? We want Tomb Raider. And Sony, you're a bunch of idiots, honestly, because you could have had this be a franchise exclusive from the start. From the start, Tomb Raider could have been exclusive all the way from the PS1. Like Metal Gear Solid, for example. It could have been like another Metal Gear Solid where it's just been a constant exclusive throughout the series, and now Metal Gear Solid is pretty much third party, but you could have had something similar, but you didn't want it, and you were stupid. And now Xbox has got this franchise. I don't know if they got the whole franchise or if they just got this one game, but Rise of the Tomb Raider is an Xbox One exclusive, and I'm very happy with Microsoft that they actually went out and I don't know what they did to go to Square Enix and say, hey, make this game exclusive. I don't know how much they paid at all, but Rise of the Tomb Raider Xbox One exclusive. This is a system seller. This is a most anticipated game, and I, for one, can't wait for it. And I mean, playing it, obviously, on my Xbox One. And I'm just really happy that... I just gotta say, wow, that's... When I first heard that, like, I was like, come again? You know, because you think, you know, Tomb Raider's been third-party all this time, but Microsoft really... They really did an awesome job. So, congratulations, Microsoft. You got... probably, you know, one of the best, you know, franchises of all time, one of the most iconic franchises of all time, and you got them as an exclusive. So that's just a fantastic job, and definitely, you know, guys, anyone who has a problem with it, what's stopping you? It's $400. Go buy an Xbox One. It's literally like you have a little over a year. Buy an Xbox One, you know, and I understand that some of you guys don't even own next-gen consoles yet. Maybe this, you know, made you switch your mind. If maybe you're leaning more towards PS4, but you're like, well, I really am a huge Tomb Raider fan, so I need to get that. So I don't know, but that's a huge exclusive. I'm really happy for Microsoft that they got that, and it's definitely going to help them sell a lot of consoles. So good job to Microsoft. That's just a fantastic exclusive. After that, they showed another great game, and this was Quantum Break, the world premiere gameplay. Quantum Break is my most anticipated Xbox One game that's coming out. It's coming out next year, and they actually showed real, you know, uncut gameplay. And the game looks fantastic. Graphically, it looks just gorgeous. You can see all the different time manipulations going on. There's a lot of elements that they borrowed from Max Payne as well as Alan Wake. And they also had some interesting elements that I noticed from Max Payne 3 with the death cans and stuff like that. And so I'm really looking forward to Quantum Break. It looks fantastic. You know, they're going to have that TV show integration, so it's going to be interesting to see how that works. But as far as the main game, it looks absolutely stellar. The graphics look absolutely incredible. The different, you know, when he's walking around, you're just looking at all the scenery because everything's stopped, and you see all the explosions and the sparks and, you know, different particle effects as they're all just being rendered in real time. It just looks incredible. So Quantum Break looked absolutely stunning. I can't wait for that game to come out. If there's ever a limited or special edition, I'm definitely getting that. So really looking forward to Quantum Break, and the gameplay looked fantastic. They went on to show Fable Legends. Don't really care about Fable, but they did announce a multiplayer beta that you can actually sign up on the Fable Legends website. So if you're into Fable Legends and you're really looking forward to it, multiplayer beta, you can sign up and get access to that. So they then went on to show this weird game. It was a new IP, a digital game, right? It's called Scream Ride. And when I looked it up, I'm like, so it's Roller Coaster Tycoon, but like a futuristic version. That's essentially what it is. You're basically a scientist, and you have to create these roller coasters, I guess. And the funny thing is that if you do too much spins, or if your roller coaster is just too crazy, the people can actually fall out of the ride and die. So I think the goal of the game is to build a huge, fast, stable roller coaster. And again, it's Roller Coaster Tycoon. If you ever played Roller Coaster Tycoon, I was a huge fan of it. Way back like 10 years ago when I was a kid, I used to play a lot of it. So, but they do have an interesting game with this one, Scream Ride. I may check it out. I'm not really sure. They then went on to show Forza Horizon 2, some new gameplay. They also announced that Forza 5 is going to be getting some exclusive cars for free, actually available right now that I'm thinking about it. So I think it's a new Rolls Royce and some other car that the name eludes me at the moment. But Forza Horizon 2, they announced that it's going to be 1080p, you're going to have 1080p, you're going to have, I think they said 60 frames per second. It's being built on the Forza 5 engine, and it's also going to be the most socially connected racing game in history. So it's going to be on dedicated servers, which is just fantastic. I'm really looking forward to Forza Horizon 2. Forza Horizon was probably my favorite racing game last generation. The Forza series as a whole has just been an exceptional series. And I like it better than the Gran Turismo series, to be honest, because Gran Turismo 5 was awful. Gran Turismo 6 I played and I wasn't really into it, and I don't even know if they need to make some seriously good game, because Forza, I got into the series with Forza 3. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Forza 4 was great. Forza 5 was fantastic as well. And now Forza Horizon was a great game. So every Forza game has been consistently fantastic. Gran Turismo I don't know what the hell happened with that series. I really don't. But Forza Horizon 2, cannot wait for it. I do have the Day 1 edition of the game pre-ordered, so you guys will, of course, see the unboxing of that. You also, Middle-earth Shadow Mortar comes out on that same day as well, so I'm going to be getting that. And so you guys have that. They also announced Ori and the Blind Forest, which is this interesting game. They kind of showed gameplay, and it looks very pretty. I don't know if I'm interested in checking it out or not. I don't know if it's my type of game, but he was basically escaping from this water or whatever it was that was actually coming out from the ground. You had to actually get to the top, to the surface before the water drowned you. And some interesting mechanics with jumping, and you can do wall runs and stuff like that. So I really don't know if I'm interested in the game. It does look interesting. It looks absolutely gorgeous, so I may check it out. Maybe in the future or whatever. So they had that. They then went on to show another trailer of Sunset Overdrive, another funny trailer. So I do have the Day 1 edition pre-order for that game as well. And I don't know. The thing is, I'm looking at the game and I'm like, it looks fun, it looks cool. But Insomniac, man, I mean, I never liked any of the Resistance games. I never liked at all. I didn't like Resistance Fall of Man. I didn't like Resistance 2, and I didn't really like Resistance 3. And never played any of the Ratchet Clanks before, if you could believe it. And Fuse was an absolutely god-awful third-person generic shooter, and that with no innovation whatsoever. So I don't know what Insomniac. It's very odd because it's like I want to, Insomniac. I truly believe they have some talent, but they just have not made a single game that I liked, that I played. Keep in mind that I didn't play Ratchet and Clank. Actually, I take that back. Spyro the Dragon I actually really liked, right? Way back on the PS1. I was really into Spyro the Dragon, but I don't know what happened. Honestly, I don't know what's going on with Insomniac anymore. The whole last generation, I just found that they made awful games, in my opinion, and I just wasn't into them. They weren't really mechanically awful. It was just that they were generic, and they didn't really... They just weren't that fun to play, to be honest. So... Sunset Overdrive, I have no idea what to expect. I'm taking a chance, and if Insomniac Games fails with Sunset Overdrive, if I don't like Sunset Overdrive, then I just refuse to buy any future Insomniac game unless it's something incredibly, appealing in the near future. I will, of course, play them, but I'm talking about on release as a definite pre-order Day 1 purchase, because I just can't. I don't know. We're just gonna have to find out. But Sunset Overdrive, they also announced that you're getting a Sunset Overdrive bundle for Xbox One. It's going to be the white Xbox One, which, to be honest, actually looks more attractive than the black one I have. But it's going to have Sunset Overdrive bundled with the game. You're going to have a 500GB hard drive, and it's going to be a white Xbox One, and it looks gorgeous in white. The console looks absolutely gorgeous in white. So that's cool. You also have the guys from Halo 343 Industries came on, and they talked about Halo. They talked about the Halo Master Chief Collection. They announced that Halo 5 Guardians, the beta, will be on December 29th to January 18th, I believe. It's a 3-week beta, and you get access from purchasing the Halo the Master Chief Collection, which I already have pre-ordered right now. So they talked about that. It's going to be good, and hopefully we'll see. Halo 4's multiplayer I thought was really fun, so I'm looking forward to Halo 5 Guardians beta. So they have that. They also talked a little about the Halo Master Chief Collection and the Halo channel. They announced that where you basically get all the Halo content in one place. So it's Halo, 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 Halo. They showed some Halo 2 Anniversary gameplay, and it was a draft. They did a fantastic job remastering it with the new sound and the new graphics and stuff, because it absolutely looks, gorgeous for a 10-year-old game, And so that game I have pre-ordered already. Going to be playing it. Interesting enough, I never beat Halo 3's campaign. I just bored the crap out of me. Halo 4's campaign I didn't really like at all. So, people are saying Halo 2 is the best Halo. But as far as the campaign for those games, I never really liked a single Halo campaign. I never really got into them, I didn't like Halo 4's campaign at all. Halo 3's campaign just bored me. So, I don't know. We're going to have to see. But Halo, the Master Chief Collection, I'm going to be playing all the Halo games. I will actually play them. And you do have the classic multiplayer returning for those franchises, or for those specific games back, so that's pretty cool. And then the last major announcement is that they announced preloading and pre-ordering is going to actually be available on Xbox One now. If you could believe it, Xbox One didn't have pre-ordering and preloading on the Xbox Game Store. That was just, Sony's kind of been on top of that. But you can actually preload games now on Xbox One. They announced that Forza Horizon 2, and FIFA 15 were going to be the first games you can actually preload on Xbox One. So that's great news. If you're a person who buys games digitally, and you want a game that you can you're purchasing a game, it's like a 30, 40 gigabyte game, and you want to download it before the game actually comes out, so you can download it about 3 or 2 days early, whatever it is, and it'll be ready for you on day one. So pretty cool. Again, looking forward to that, and that's pretty much all they showed. It was a great press conference overall. The highlights, I have to say, are Quantum Break gameplay looked absolutely fantastic. Rise of the Tomb Raider being an exclusive is absolutely huge, and good job on Microsoft for doing that. And the Advanced Warfare single-player campaign it actually looked really good. So I'm really looking forward to it. Seriously, after watching that, it's like, for someone like me who I'm personally not allowed to have a bias, because of what I do here on YouTube. I'm not allowed to favor one just because, but I am allowed to express my opinion based on factual information. All right, and as far as my decision, you guys see me. I purchased most of my third-party games on PlayStation 4, and the only reason is because they run and look better on the PS4. That's just, it's a fact. The games often have higher resolutions, and the frame rate's often more stable on the PlayStation 4 versus the Xbox One. Truth be told, I like the Xbox One console. I really do. And, you guys have seen my tweets before. Like, I was just, sometimes I'll turn it on and I'll just browse to the menu and stuff. And I just, it's a nice, clean console. But again, it's like, if I can get the better experience somewhere else, that's where I'm going to go. And I made that huge mistake last generation where I, bought a lot of games, and what I tried to do is I tried to even out the games I bought on Xbox 360 and also on PlayStation 3, and I screwed myself because a lot of the game experiences were better on Xbox 360 than the PlayStation 3. And that's just, again, a fact. It wasn't until the last year or the last 2 years where a lot of developers actually got to harness some more power out of the PS3, and so games kind of looked a little bit better. If you look at Grand Theft Auto 5, it actually looks better on the PlayStation 3 than it does on the Xbox 360. But again, if you go look at Grand Theft Auto 4, it looks and performs much better on Xbox 360 than it does on PlayStation 3. So that's that's really just my only reason. But watching this Gamescom press conference, it got me really excited for being a part of the Xbox One community and owning the console. And it really just, it made me happy to own the console, and that's what you want to do at these press conferences, at E3, at Gamescom, at TGS. You want to make people excited to own your console, and I felt that. Watching this press conference, I felt excited to own an Xbox One. So they had an absolutely fantastic press conference. Sony has had some work to do. I have no idea what Sony plans on showing, but if they can come out here and show like Uncharted 4 gameplay, I don't think they're going to, but if they show like a new trailer for Uncharted 4, that would be cool. Or maybe they'll have some new announcements. I have no idea. But Sony, Microsoft is a true force to be reckoned with, and people say that they screwed up and they dug themselves a big hole that many people still feel that they're not able to dig themselves out of. But honestly, I think they're doing a fantastic job. Phil Spencer is a great guy. He's a great leader for the Xbox One community, and he's just, what I like about him is that he's very realistic and he's very down to earth. He doesn't try to fabricate stuff and say, well, we went through this and we went through that, and that's why this happened. He tells you things exactly how they are, and he's very straightforward with his approach to the gaming community, and the Xbox One and his feelings on everything, and it's great to see that. It's a really nice change when it comes to the gaming industry, because Microsoft for a long time seems very robotic. Don Mattrick was a very robotic person. sat there on stage. He talked like he had a that he had like you know, he had a script. You know, he didn't really put any personality into his dialogue, and you know, he didn't really tell things how they were. Now that Phil Spencer is in charge, he's just doing a fantastic job, and they really turned the face of Xbox One around. It better late than never, you know. Again, better late than never. I think the console, you know, it has a good future ahead of itself, especially with the way Microsoft is treating it. And again, Microsoft, and I know this is what everyone's, you know, really worried about, but get those exclusives and keep them. All right, you guys have Rise of the Tomb Raider. If you guys can keep Rise of the Tomb Raider, not I don't mean keep it for 6 months, but actually keep it as a full exclusive and as the future exclusive for the franchise, this would really help people out, because a lot of people are very, you know, they're very worried, I guess, for lack of a better term, you know, because Dead Rising 3, third party now, Rise Son of Rome, third party, you know, it's coming to PC, and that's the problem, is that you want these Xbox One exclusive. It doesn't matter if the game sucks. What matters is that it's exclusive to your console. And Rise Son of Rome, you know, was the latest to actually be moved to PC. Microsoft, you need to keep these games, and you guys have some great games coming up. Quantum Break, again, like Remedy Games, if you look at Max Payne, or look at Alan Wake came out on Xbox 360 first, and it wasn't until like a year and a half, 2 years later it came to PC. Microsoft, keep Quantum Break, keep it, because if people see that you get exclusives, but they just come out 6 months later on the PC or on other platforms, what they're going to do is they're just going to say, well, what's the point? I'll just wait 6 months and not spend $400 or $500 on your console, you know? And you don't want to do that. You need to keep these exclusives. So hopefully Rise of the Tomb Raider is an exclusive for Xbox One, a true exclusive where they keep it, and Quantum Break is as well. And they just got a lot of good stuff coming up. So Microsoft, fantastic Gamescom press conference. I thought it was really good. You guys had a lot of good information, and I'm really happy with all the announcements that you made. Rise of the Tomb Raider is absolutely huge. It really is. I mean, that I cannot express enough how big that game is. So let me know what you guys thought, and what your feelings are. Again, all these great game announcements coming up. There's nothing stopping you other than yourself. So don't be stupid. If you want to play something on Xbox One, get an Xbox One. It's so simple. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day. Thank you for watching. I will be back to talk about Sony's Gamescom press conference and whether I think it was good or bad.